One of the most incredibly frustrating things in difficult conversations is when the person who brings to you their grievances shuts down communication. That's it, no more. Talk to the hand. If you've experienced that, you know the frustration and the anger and the devaluing feelings that can come as a result of that. Hey, my name is Tammy and I'm your leadership and communication skills coach, and I'm going to share with you today in this video how to respond to stonewalling in a text or email situation. Now, this certainly can happen in person, and I've had my fair share of experiences. When I was first married, this was my husband's style of dealing with challenges, is he would shut down. And I gotta tell you, I wasn't very graceful back then. I would let that anger fester. I wouldn't even let it fester. I would let that anger come out, and I would try to force him to have a conversation because I didn't know any better. But now I do, and I've got some strategies to help you as well. So let's focus in on that text or email that you might receive where somebody suddenly shows up in your life, tells you all the reasons why you're not being a good human, and then shuts down communication before you have an opportunity to really explore it. Number one, do not respond right away. You're likely to be in a reactive state, an emotional reactive state. You've just opened up your phone, you've got this text or this email, and it's filled with these accusations and perceptions that criticize your professionalism, your ethics, your standards of care, and you're kind of like, whoa, where is this coming from? Now, this is the kind of thing that can make you feel blindsided. And what happens in a blindside is we are moved off that equilibrium and we are pushed into a fight, flight, freeze, fawn response. That is not the place to be sending an email from. So the first thing I recommend and the first thing I do is I just sit with it. Take some time, take a breath, take a walk, whatever you need to do to get out of the hijack and that emotional, what the heck just happened here? And come back down into a place where you can intellectually engage with the other person. Now, the second strategy will benefit both you and the other party should a conversation ensue. And that is find the 10% truth. You know, where there's smoke, there's fire, right? And so if they're coming to you in this heated energy and you don't know where it's coming from, take a step back. Look at the content that they're sharing with you. What can you agree on? I'll give you an example. In this recent text I received, it talked about me not fact-checking and offering up an opinion before I had done that. And I thought, dang, you know what? That's accurate. That is the 10% truth. A lot of the other stuff is a response from them, their reaction, their emotions, their stories, their narratives, their beliefs, their perspectives. And I don't own any of that. And for me, that's not the 10% truth. It's a place of curiosity that I would welcome to have a conversation about. But that 10% truth piece, I didn't fact check, that's the place that we're going to make a bridge in order to carry the conversation forward. Number three, now that you've had some time to think about things, you've found that 10% truth, do not respond and offer up your rebuttal. Instead, invite them to a conversation. And you can even use that 10% truth as a place to connect, to make it safe, and to lower their defenses to see if they'll come into a conversation. Face-to-face verbal communication in some form is the best route because we know written information is a cesspool of misinterpretations and assumptions. So let's remove any further complications by not responding to any of the content and simply inviting them to a call. So now, while those last three tips help you get set to have the conversation, to engage in a really healthy dialogue, the next set of tips is going to help you deal with the closure. When they say, no thanks, please don't contact me anymore. I get it. On a personal level, we love to have closure. We want to be able to dialogue through problems to get to a resolution so that I'm not accused again and you don't ever feel this way again. And the problem is we get these loops that are just open in our brain. What about? What if I'd have known? And we just can't seem to close them because the answers rest in the other person. So we think. When we take the mindset that the only way we're going to get resolution is if the other person talks to me, we essentially shackle ourselves, we become victims of the situation. And that's simply not true. We can actually gift ourselves closure. We don't need the other person to do that. So I'm going to give you 3 tips on how to give yourself closure so that you're not carrying around that stink bomb that they threw on your lap. You can gift it and send it back. Okay, tip number 1, should somebody close off communication, is don't take it personally. Remember, stonewalling is a maladaptive response to stress. Their stress. They own the response, they own the emotions, they own their choices. So this is more about them than it is about you. So don't take it personally. And in that same breath, we're still going to take that 10% truth. This is step number 2. Take that 10% truth that you identify and grow from it. This is the part you can control. Remember, we're going to gift back all the other pieces. They get to own that. We're going to give them full autonomy to decide how they feel about their life's experiences and how they resolve them or not resolve them. We're going to control what we can control. In the case of the comment about not fact-checking, I'm like, okay, I can take that information and I can use that so that the next time I find myself in a similar situation, I'm going to remember that that's an important piece. And then instead of offering up an opinion without that context, I might say something like, I haven't fact-checked this. My gut instinct tells me, ... Set the stage to share your personal experience and accept that this hasn't been fact-checked. There might be something more to come from this. Step number 3 is to practice mindfulness and relaxation techniques. Now, the reason step number 3 is important is because when you first received that text or email that was very offensive to you, remember your amygdala is the one that's responsible for fight or flight. It's like the fire alarm in the building. It went off ding, 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 ding. And so our bodies are also feeling all juiced up, right? So we want to practice mindfulness, relaxation to restore ourselves back to that place of rest that we were in before that text message came in. And that can be anything that makes you feel good, whether it's dancing or singing, journaling, yoga, or going out and playing in the snow and making snowmen, or if you happen to see my post the other day, I made a snow shark and a snow stingray. That was my beach therapy in the absence of a beach. And yes, that's exactly what I needed to help de-escalate my own nervous system and come back down to a restful, peaceful place. I'd love to know what you would add to this list. Maybe you've got some personal experience and you've got some strategies that are really solid for you. Share them in the comments below, because when we do that, other people benefit and they can then move their conversations and their relationships forward faster. Now remember, scapegoating is a maladaptive response to stress. It is not about you, it is about them. Take what you own, grow from it, and move on. If ever the opportunity comes back to have a conversation, you have already positioned yourself, you've communicated your boundaries, you've found the 10% truth to use as a place to connect and build off of, and you're aligned with your values, so good for you. This is Tammy, your leadership and communication skills coach. Hit that subscribe button for more information on how to help you deal with interpersonal problems with interpersonal solutions. Thanks for watching.